And Poddy Toynbee. Thanks both.
5 minutes to 9. The lobster is a role model that we should emulate if we are to have a better life. That's the view of Jordan Peterson. He's a professor of psychology from the University of Toronto. He is also a massive YouTube star who has a huge following, especially among men. And he's written a self-help book, 12 Rules for Life. He's in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Explain the lobster. That's part of Rule 1, isn't it?
Well, you're actually supposed to emulate the victorious lobster, not the defeated lobster.
The victorious lobster.
Yeah.
There is such a thing.
There is such a thing.
So this is Rule 1. Stand up straight with your shoulders back, which is part of your 12 rules for living. But explain the lobster relevance.
Well, lobsters, like human beings, live in hierarchies of, you could call them power or authority. And the neural structures that govern your understanding of your position in an authority hierarchy are there back all the way to lobsters 350 million years ago. And so it's necessary for people to know how to conduct themselves in hierarchies, because the way that we conduct ourselves in hierarchies actually regulates our emotions. And so the chapter is an injunction to people to extend themselves physically and to stand up properly and to face the world forthrightly, because doing all of that increases the probability that you'll be successful in the most important sense of success. And I wrote the chapter in an attempt to illustrate just exactly how deep and important such things can be. So it's a tongue-in-cheek approach, obviously, because we differ a fair bit from lobsters. But
indeed, I mean that particular rule and some of the others. I said that you've got quite a large following among men. They are the majority of your followers on YouTube. It's quite a masculine approach, you would argue.
I would say masculine, although it's not necessarily limited in its effectiveness to men, right? Because masculine and feminine, male and female can be dissociated to some degree. With an advantage, a psychological advantage for clarity. But yeah, well, it's an injunction for people to stand forward properly and forthrightly and courageously as individuals, which is a theme that runs through the book.
And why do you think that your words are resonating so much with men, which is a section of society, let's face it, where we know in many countries there are problems, huge rates of suicide in this country.
Oh yes, and dropout as well, especially in institutions like the universities, where men are bailing out like mad. Well, I think partly with men can delay maturation. They need a reason to mature, and the proper reason isn't compulsion, it's ambition. And I mean ambition in the best sense. And so a large part of what I've been talking about, what I've written about in 12 Rules for Life, is the outline of a view of the world that would enable you to understand how you can take part in existence in a noble and truthful manner. I talk a lot to young men about responsibility and truth, and try to outline the notion that the meaning that's to be found in life, the meaning that sustains you through good times and bad, is much more associated with responsibility than it is with, say, rights or freedoms or impulsive pleasures. And I mean, there's something to be said for those things, but...
And your critics latch on some of that and say, and you have a lot of critics, especially in your native Canada, where they say you're a misogynist, you're propelling this misogynistic view of the world, and pushing men ahead of women.
Yeah, well, first, I don't have a lot of critics. I just have a very small minority of extraordinarily noisy critics. So, but the idea that this is misogynistic is absolutely foolish. I mean, the danger to women is posed by weak men, not by strong men. And it's really important to get that right. And I don't mean strong physically, and I don't mean strong cruelly, although I do mean that to some degree. It's an absurd proposition.
And in 5 seconds, for someone looking for self-help from yourself, what's your one message?
Tell the truth. Say what you believe, and straighten the world out that way.
Great. Jordan Peterson, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thanks for the invitation.
And that's it from us. Our editors were...